Hi guys, welcome back. So today we've got this Honda Civic Type R FK8 in for a custom Stage 1 ECU remap with Eventuri carbon fibre intake and HKS Intercooler upgrade as well. But before we jump into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, and then you won't miss any of our new videos go live. So installing the custom Stage 1 ECU remap with a HKS Intercooler and an Eventuri carbon fibre intake. So we're going to be dynoing the car in a couple of moments. So we're going to do the baseline run. We're going to bring the car in the workshop, walk you through all the upgraded parts, the HKS Intercooler and the Eventuri intake, and then get all those fitted to the car, get the car back on the dyno, flash our Stage 1 custom ECU software and see what kind of power output we get. So these cars start off around 320 horsepower. We'll show you what power we benchmark on our dyno, and then we'll walk you through the differences between stock and then this car as it is when it leaves us with Stage 1 custom ECU remap, HKS Intercooler and the Eventuri intake. So we'll see you in the workshop in a little bit. So we've got the Honda Civic Type R FK8 on the ramps behind us. We've got some of the parts in front of us we're going to be installing today. Obviously you would have seen what the car made on the dyno a little bit earlier on as the baseline, and we'll show you a little bit later on what the car is going to make once it's got all these parts added onto it, and then the custom ECU software as well. So we're just going to walk you through these bolt-ons before we get them fitted. So we've got the Eventuri carbon fibre intake and we've got the HKS intercooler. So the Eventuri intake is a carbon fibre air intake, closed airbox intake, so a lot better than the standard intake in terms of rejecting heat from the engine bay and sort of isolating the cool intake air from the hot engine bay. So Eventuri quote a gain of around 20 horsepower, 20 foot-pounds, as well as reduction in 60 to 130 mile-an-hour times in 1.2 seconds. So this intake alone unlocks a lot of performance. And then the HKS intercooler. So the standard intercooler is quite small, inefficient, and has a big bottleneck on the intercooler outlet, which we'll show you a little bit later on, which really reduces flow out of the intercooler. So the standard intercooler, HKS report that during sort of like a dyno pull, charge temps go up to around 90 C. So that's not very good for obviously power, torque, drivability, things like that. So with the upgraded intercooler, that reduces the charge temps. HKS report reduces it down to around 50 degrees or less. So that's a massive difference on those cars. Obviously, if we are installing the Stage 1 ECU software, we're going to be increasing or optimizing like the boost, the fuel and ignition, all the other maps inside the ECU. And as we increase the boost pressure, that introduces more heat as well, because obviously compressed air heats up. So the HKS intercooler is really going to help us to keep sort of like performance consistent all the time, as opposed to having the power and torque impacted by heat soak. So we're going to get these parts fitted to the car, show you some of the differences side by side, and we'll see you on the dyno a little bit later on to go through the dyno graphs. Okay, so we're back on the rolling road. We've finished the tuning on the Civic Type R FK8. Just to recap quickly over the upgrades that we've installed. We installed the HKS Intercooler and the Eventuri Intake and the custom RSS Stage 1 ECU software. So we've got the grass behind me, so I'm just going to walk you through the power and torque as the vehicle arrived and the power and torque as it left. So the dotted lines are the power and torque when the car arrived this morning, and then the solid lines is as the car's leaving us today, with the blue being the torque and the red being the horsepower. So you can see there's massive gains all the way across the rev range. So this car came in with around 324 horsepower, and it's leaving us today with around 370 horsepower. And then in terms of foot-pounds, it's gone up from 318 this morning up to around 355 foot-pounds of torque. The maximum gains in the mid-range, you're going to see around about 50 horsepower and about 45 foot-pounds of torque. And then this car is now making stock power at around about 4,750 RPM. So everything above 4,750 RPM is higher power and torque than the factory car this morning. So let us know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch other videos of ours that YouTube thinks you'll like, then click up here. If you'd like to watch some other videos that we have in the same playlist, then click here. And obviously, if you enjoyed the video, then we really appreciate if you gave us a subscription. And then obviously you'll be updated when other videos of ours go live, and you can do that quite easily by clicking here. Hope to see you soon.